episode 3.
Oh, where to start?
Yeah, well, we just in the Van Ryan household, and they're peeking out the window as usual. Ada's actually sitting by the window working, but they're still peeping across the street. That might be why there's so much you need light to do things. You don't need light to do that, but whatever. It was kind of dark in their houses.
Yeah. Oil costs money.
They're peeping out the window, talking about this girl going out with her governess. Mm-hmm. Well, at least she's going out.
It's interesting, though, that Marion said she keeps her prisoner, but you feel trapped, too.
Right. You're not doing all that much.
See the similarities.
No, she doesn't. You have to go out with Peggy all the time. Mm-hmm. You have to have somebody with you all the time. You have to go someplace with somebody. But
you can only do these charities. Though. It depends on what charity. You can't get a job. You can't wear your morning clothes. You have to wear these clothes. I don't want you to talk to that man. Okay, Marion.
Yeah, but she keeps her captive. Right. You're kind of captive too, boo.
You don't mind lying? I'm just trying to live my life.
What life?
You have to lie to live your life.
Right. I got to sneak around and lie about my life.
Back to Gladys.
Yeah, Gladys is a trip. Gladys done blackmailed her nanny. She blackmailed this woman to take her to see a man. Why would Gladys pick a hotel? Out of all the places that people think are inappropriate, at least Marion goes to the park. At least Marion has sense enough not to go to a hotel with this man. Because he asked about a hotel and she was like,
no. You know we can't do that.
Right.
Like, it is known.
Not for coffee or anything else. She peeped your card, boo.
Exactly. Rakes. Yeah, this is the dating episode.
It is a dating episode.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Jack trying to ask Bridget out. Yeah. Oh, Bridget my goodness.
Acting all skittish. Why Miss Bauer all happy? She all into peeping around like
she's living vicariously through the young people. Like she said, we don't get to have fun. Let them have some fun.
Right. We don't know what fun is.
Poor Gladys. Yeah. Well, I'm out making society for myself. Which begged the question, I wondered, how did she meet Archie Baldwin in the first place?
That's my question. Because the nanny said, who is this? And she said, Archie Baldwin. Like she should know who the heck is Archie Baldwin. Where you been without your governess?
And she knows all these facts about him already. So have you been writing or communicating some kind of way?
I guess maybe she did write letters before. But
the society papers, she could have read that about his family.
Yeah, she could have read anything about his family. But still, she already knew him. I don't know how in the world she met him. Yeah, she ain't been to no party. She ain't been to nobody's house. She ain't been no place. I have no idea. Yeah, I don't know how she knows Archie Baldwin.
She can't go across the street. Remember we were talking about how Marion treated Gladys too. So you met this child in the park. You met her at her house. Well, you met her at the fundraising meeting first.
Right.
That's how y'all knew each other.
Right.
Then you saw her at the at-home and at the park. And we were saying how, again, Marion complains about feeling restricted and everything. And we noticed she doesn't seem to have any friends.
No.
Even as the season goes on. No. She has Aurora. She got Peggy. That's about it.
That's it.
Why didn't you invite this child over for tea?
Right. Not for us. Not with Oscar.
Right.
Just with yourself. And also, she wasn't forbidden to go into the Russell's house. Now, they wanted to go to that party.
Right.
But she wasn't forbidden from going into the house. She went for lunch. She admitted that. Why couldn't you just go visit Gladys?
Exactly.
You think that she's being kept captive and more like a prisoner. Why don't you go visit her sometime?
You love the new people. And Bertha, you rooting for Bertha so hard.
Go
and you like Larry.
It doesn't make any sense.
Go visit. Whatever.
He said, let's be friends. I see ain't none of them inviting her no place either, though. Oscar doesn't invite her any place. Larry doesn't invite. Aurora didn't invite her any place. She could have gone up to Newport or wherever with her. She just went to a Barton meeting. That's charity.
Remember, though, Aurora Fane was a guest. So she got invited to Newport. She could not have invited Marion. McAllister didn't invite Marion. We're going to get to that later. I know why he didn't invite Marion to Newport. But you're right. She gets left out of things, though.
Yeah, she doesn't have a little circle of friends or anything. All these people are supposedly within about 5 or 6 years of each other, and they seem to throw all young people in together. Because
Oscar, to me, old self.
Rakes don't look like he that young either.
Well, remember, men can be older than the women.
They can be, but I was looking at how they set things up. They always have people grouped together. Yeah. He's always grouped with the younger people. I don't know. Because again,
he's single, so he could marry one of the girls. Yeah, I think also maybe you wouldn't cross sexes like that. When you said Larry or Oscar don't invite Marion anywhere, I feel like it would have to be some kind of, like it seemed like Oscar and Larry went to lunch together. They were remember that was at the club, and they was at Golette's. They was doing their men stuff.
But I just mean little parties, like when Larry eventually asked his sister to something. I just mean you could go to things.
But remember, he didn't. Fish invited both of them.
Right. But he pushed for her to come.
But she was already invited, is my point, though.
Right. But we don't know how Larry, he might have finagled that. We don't know. Because Fish loves Larry.
Lord.
Clearly.
A little bit too much.
Yeah, a little bit too much.
But we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yes, we are. So anyway.
Back to the dating episode.
When they were peeping out of the window across the street, Ada asked if she could go to this charity thing with Marion and meets this man. She don't look interested.
Cornelius Eckhart III.
She doesn't look happy. And Marion just got... Who's that man? And then just started asking him, and do you have an interest in the wreck? Where do you live? Why are you all giddy about this man?
Same reason she got giddy about Rake's writing. But yeah, that was one of those little tender moments where you do see the softer side of it, as soft as she gonna get.
But she does. That's the thing about it. She actually does love her sister.
Oh, yeah.
She loves her sister, and she wants her sister to be fine. They do all that little snippy stuff, but what else they got to do? She ain't got nothing else to do. That's her personality.
I was going to say she snips with everybody.
Yep, that's her personality.
That's just how she is.
Yep. And Ada knows it. Exactly. Ada knows she cares about her. You know, Ada knows it.
Girl, you have whatever you want for dinner tomorrow.
Yeah. Sorry, boo.
He had to go.
Right.
What you want to eat?
Right. Pick out what you like from the menu.
Mr. Russell, like Mrs. Russell, they not fake.
No.
I'm going to call you out.
Right.
So, this is what y'all did, and then y'all going to sell it, and then y'all going to buy it back. And that's pure speculation.
So you lied.
Everybody in this room, both of us know you lying. That's what gentlemen do.
Right. He's a gentleman because he wasn't raising his voice. He didn't talk to him as if he was his chauffeur, like you're supposed to scream at your chauffeur. I didn't even get that.
And he didn't call him names when you think.
No, he didn't use
profanity
anything.
At all.
Nope.
He said facts.
Yep, you dirty, rotten thieves. That's what you are.
And you are liars.
Yep.
That's what you did.
It is the truth.
But that's insulting, and that makes him not a gentleman.
Of course he's not a
George Russell is a gentleman in my book. Yeah. He takes care of his wife. He does oh my God, above and beyond for his wife. He tried with his little milk toast self to have his daughters back.
Yeah.
He wants like the actor said, he wants his children to be happy.
He wants them to be happy.
He does follow the 1882 way of doing things, but he will listen to reason, and he listens to them.
Right.
He talks to them. He treats his staff well. He treats his office staff well.
He ain't hollering and stomping around and screaming at people.
And he dressed sharp than a mug.
Yeah.
And that beard and hair be like, shoot, Mr. Russell, a gentleman in my book.
Yeah. And
even the way he... Go ahead.
I was going to say, this is another one. You said this is a dating episode. This is where Turner starts snaking around George, talking about being a fine gentleman. She's snaking around in church. Done seen her snaking around corners.
And he handles that with class, though.
He doesn't call her out.
No.
He's not rude to her. He just says his one or two words and keep it stepping.
Why is she all in my face? Was there something else? Okay. Thank you. Touching him on the arm. All right.
Tell
me when my wife come back.
Right.
And yeah. Anyway, he's a gentleman to me.
And then the other dating, Oscar done wormed his way to their dinner table.
He got in the house.
And this is to me so ridiculous. So Oscar wants Gladys because she has money. And I don't care what Julian Fellows says. He doesn't want her because she's nice.
No.
That was a bonus.
Yep.
He thinks they can get along. He didn't know her. He didn't know what she looked like.
Nope.
What she talked like. He didn't know nothing about this girl.
He didn't know how old she was.
Except this is this boy's sister and they're rich. Yeah. Right. She could have been 12 years old.
I was gonna say,
he want to marry her.
Oscar, I guess, supposed to be in his early 30s.
With
he
his
looked like
old looking self.
No shade to the actor, but you look like you're in your late 30s, early 40s.
Yeah, he
at
definitely
best.
Looks as old as the Russells.
And this child's supposed to be 16, 17, 18 years old, somewhere in there. And you just, I want to meet her.
Well, you wanted to meet her because they have money. You didn't say, I want to marry somebody nice and rich. You said, I have to have money. Because her being nice didn't stop you from dropping her in this episode when you thought George was broke.
What you were going to say, you didn't care about Julian Fellows and innocent. You do not want to be outed.
That's right.
And you know this little naive, sheltered girl ain't gonna have no inkling. That ain't gonna be in her on her radar
even know
at all.
Like I said, the whole society was in denial. You think this 17-year-old's thinking about homosexuality?
No, not at all.
Not
and that's
even a
selfish.
little bit.
That Oscar is the epitome of
that's awful.
Selfish and what's the other word? Entitled.
Oh,
too.
He's totally
He's
entitled.
A lot of things.
Yeah,
but
he's a lot of things.
The way he treats his boy. So you're saying he said, I need money. Who he say it to?
Right.
You saying this to your boyfriend in the bedroom of your apartment.
Right, and he shouldn't have any feelings. Oh, nothing's gonna change. Well, nothing's gonna change.
You're gonna live in the same house with her.
Yes, something
we
is
can't
gonna
live together anymore.
Right.
So y'all gonna, and you have to have certain social engagements.
Right.
You're gonna get invited to certain things and stuff. I mean, nothing's gonna change.
And also, what's gonna happen when Gladys wants to have children?
Well, they have to have children.
You know, so something's gonna change.
Right. So now you sleeping with both.
Disgusting.
I mean,
he's absolutely disgusting.
And making jokes about it.
Right.
Unless I take to it like a duck to water.
You're so easy to tease. There's ain't nothing you tease somebody about. This man is in love with you.
That is just, I'm about to cry. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he's terrible.
He treats Mr. Adams so badly.
Yeah, he does.
So, and it is obvious that relationship is not equal.
Oh, please.
That man, and that's another thing. Whenever we see them, usually it's Adams asking him, what's wrong?
Right.
You seem distracted.
Right.
Whatever you come into bed, I need a drink first. Right. You ain't never asking this man how
anything.
he is.
He doesn't care.
Oh
He's a
God.
convenience for him. I done found a handsome man who likes me, and I'm good. Oh my God.
Continuing with this dating theme, when Bannister came and said, I told the man looking for you to, the whole time she was looking like, one, I ain't in contact with no men like that. Not too many people know to look for me here.
What kind of man?
Man is waiting for me. She done had a date with a daddy, finally.
Mm-hmm.
You trying to avoid him. He done came to the mountain, done came to my hobby.
And he's totally oblivious.
Clueless.
To her feelings.
Clueless.
She is looking all sad and her whole body language. Peggy walks like a proud woman. She all curved in, her head is down, her eyes, and you haven't seen anything. You don't know everything all you can do is, you came to make peace.
Yeah.
So we can sit down like a family for your mother's dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And all you did, what kind of job is that, right? Les for some old lady? What is it, the white newspaper? Well, if it don't work out, you can come home and work for me. That is one of the things she told you. She absolutely does not want that pharmacy. She doesn't want to do that. And you just think it's okay. What happened? What's wrong?
You don't know why she cutting this visit short, fool. He said, your mama ain't been the same. She ain't the reason I left.
Right, that's
that
your
went
fault.
Right over his head. I can forgive you.
I can forgive me? What did I do? Because I want to be a person?
Because I left.
Right. I'm a grown, educated. You gave me the education. You didn't want me to think for myself, though. And left him just feeling dejected, about to cry, almost in tears.
It's
just
so
stressed
sad.
out the whole time. Like you said, Peggy give face.
And back to the actor's comments. you were saying before you think it's a good sign of them being a good actor because they're so immersed into their character.
Yeah.
Y'all completely blind to y'all saying stuff that don't make sense. This has nothing to do with him trying to save her from racism
And that's what he said.
in a harsh world.
That's what the actor said in the comments after the show. You didn't say that.
It wasn't even implied, though, is what I'm saying. That is not the motivation behind his actions and words. He had a plan. This man came out of slavery and has built this business and married this beautiful woman whose family is from Virginia or North Carolina or something like that. Same thing with the Russells.
Married a cultured woman.
Yep. Her daddy did not like that.
No.
And she done raised him up, and now he know how to dress and act at the dinner table, talk as best he can. I come to ask you to...
Right.
No, he wants you to take over eventually and to come work for him and do what he wants you to do. That's it.
I sent you to school so you could take over the family business.
That's it, and that's all. No, it has nothing to do with saving her feelings or she being ignorant of she ain't that ignorant of the world, okay?
No, she isn't.
Peggy knows what...
She has traveled alone from state to state. She knows how people treat people. She's sitting outside the train station in the rain. Right. She knows how this works.
She's fine.
I can't sit in there.
She's fine. That is not where that came from. That came from selfishness. This is what you want. Like her mother said, he loves you. He wants the best. That's what he thinks is the best.
He thinks it's the best. And I know better than you.
Right.
You're a kid.
Yep, so this woman been sitting there in the lobby all day before she went in to see this man, and then that's what you gonna say to her.
Right.
And again, held her composure, didn't flip out on him.
She was just why would you change an integral part of the story?
Did you ask white people? Well, yeah, who else would we ask?
Right,
okay.
Right, of course.
So then, and the same thing with being fake. If the reason is you don't want to lose your Southern subscriptions, then just say that.
Right. Just say it.
Don't make up something. She know you lying.
Palatable to our... What?
That ain't the reason why.
You don't want to use that Southern money because they're racist.
Well, I don't agree with the system. But, sir, you're perpetuating
the system. You do agree with the system.
Yes.
You're
taking the system's money.
Right.
And you are telling this woman to do these things according to the system.
And so she's a little exasperated, closes her eyes and thinks, okay, what else?
What else? That's about it. Just can't nobody know you. The character can't be black. You can't be black. The writing's fine. We don't want to change the writing.
I don't agree with the system, though.
No. But that's it.
Yeah.
Do you know how many men are crying? They're drinking their... No.
That retort was so great.
They would never be... That's not the same position. And again, he can't even see.
And he doesn't see. He doesn't think he's saying anything unreasonable.
Oh my God.
Nothing
I
at all.
met with her. I called you in. We talked.
You will be paid You understand how much money you're going to make, right? This woman wants to be a published author.
That's not...
She's not here to make your money.
Right.
She wants to be a published author.
And Danae Benton brought up a very good point that I did not think about before. How many people did this?
And we know a bunch of people did it.
And we have no idea.
We don't know who invented
this.
What.
Exactly.
We don't... Because I tell you something my mother told me when I was very, very young. The people who make things easier are the people who have to do the work. She never believed Whitney, whatever his
Eli
name.
Whitney. That's what I was thinking of, the cotton gin.
He didn't pick cotton.
Yes.
She said somebody figured out how to do this stuff. She said people's hands were bleeding. And she said he didn't figure that out.
No, and come to find out, no, he did not.
No,
it was a black man.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that don't make sense.
Absolutely ridiculous.
No, Potato Digger's daughter. Yeah. So we know that Bertha is Irish American. We know that her parents were poor. They don't mention her daddy, but just your mama would be. Your mama had. So that's where she got all this stuff from. She got those wishes.
Yes, her mother said, "You can do it, boo."
I want to know where George comes from and how did they meet? Because remember in the carriage when Fane hopped himself in there and said, well, they're snobbish. And he said, well, maybe they're right to be snobbish.
Right.
And when old boy called him a bastard with the railroads in
he's like, okay,
Ohio, well,
you're a fool.
I might be he acknowledged
Yep.
it. I might be a bastard, but so what's George's situation and people?
I just want to hear his backstory.
Oh, I
so
can't
bad.
wait in season 2. How did they hook up? And
Yep.
like you said, I really think she played a key part in helping him build his fortune
she had to. She had to.
And that's why he puts up with so much of a mess.
He had to. Probably against all odds. She was always there cheering him on and doing whatever little social thing she could climb into before she got to this level to make sure that he got what he needed. You don't suspect that your wife is a little bit crazy?
Dismissive. She's very dismissive. I've noticed she does that a lot.
When she doesn't want
he
to
will
answer
ask
something,
her a
she keep
question.
rolling.
And she just changes the subject and he just goes along. Just like we said before on I think it was the first episode when Gladys asked him how were things at work.
Right.
Oh my God, do not talk about work. And he didn't. Oh, I hope that he started talking about the weather and
the
Larry.
weather's better where Larry is, like, okay, let me stop.
He took his cue.
Yep. I do what mama say. Mama say. I do what mama say.
He mamaku size.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Like Gladys says, you own a whole building with your name all over it and got people working for you. What's up with you?
No, I cannot stand up to my wife. No.
He didn't even answer the question.
No, I don't want to.
He didn't even answer the question. This is the way it is. So the alderman, in the meantime, the gentleman who talked about how disgracefully he treated him when he came to the office, this man, George, has a plan. He done come up in the morning. She told me how good he looked. Yep, I got some last night. I'm ready to fight.
Yeah,
I'm fortified.
Yep. I ain't sleeping in my bed last night.
I'm ready.
I'm ready like Washington, looking down at the redoubts. Oh my goodness. Oh, he said, buy it all. And that's another thing. They were talking about how he was vicious or ruthless. He was ruthless in business. This was a counter move.
That's right.
His secretary, Clay, said, do you want me to dig up dirt? Nah, we gonna make a deal, win-win. They screwed him over, lied about it. You know they screwing you over. This is in self-defense.
And you're trying to ruin me.
I was going to say.
You're ruined and I'm supposed to care?
This would have been again, he got all these different investments, but I believe the real estate and the architect, all that stuff is tied to the railroad business. It's steel and all that stuff. You need all of it to build railroads. So his stock and everything tanking, that's going to take everything out. What is he supposed to do?
Fane is in a panic, but he's not showing it. He's trying to act like he's cool, like he knows everything. But your boy Morris.
Segue. These actors.
They good.
They are not the main characters.
They're good.
Okay, let's give some little awards out.
Yep.
Okay, Miss and Mrs. Lockhart, or Emmy awards. This man, because Morris had more dramatic emotions to show. He had more dramatic actions too going on. That begging and even this tripping and Fane's office stuff. Fane, very subtly, you could see on his face. That's why I asked him. He was like, no, it's going to be fine. Well, how far are you in? What you ask him that for if it's going to be fine? What difference does it make?
If the stock is just going to tank, it's going to tank.
Oh, I have to be right. Why do you have to be right, sir?
Because they're entitled and they always win and they have to be right. Because they couldn't possibly go broke.
That's called denial. You don't have to be right.
He's trying to buck him up. But as soon as he walked out the door,
oh my goodness,
Fane's face, he looked like
he was giving face.
Stricken. These actors are excellent.
Oh, he was so good. Yeah, that man worried in a month. And why did you do that?
Right.
Why are you so greedy? You didn't have to bet your whole life.
You didn't.
You had your margin account.
He bet everything.
Why would you do that?
Because he just this man got so much money. There's so much money because he's greedy. Like he said, you're a greedy, dirty thief. That's why he did it. Entitled. Gracious. Again, I have to have everything. Everything has to be for me. I don't care about you. You're new people anyway. You're nothing but trash. Mm-hmm. When George told Bertha that he wanted the Morrises to come to the house, she said they wouldn't come. Yep. He said invite them anyway. She did it. She didn't protest. She did. And she set it out for them. And even though this woman was rude to her at her dining table, she knew that George wanted, and she stayed on mission. Yeah. This woman don't get the mission. No. She thinks her husband is just some punk. And she thinks she's more than she. Why in the world would this woman, why would you even think after what happened at your bazaar when George just bought it out and strutted out with her and she turned around with her little whatever. Why did you think this woman would do anything for you?
Same reason.
Bertha gave her every opportunity. Yep. Did you do something for me that I should be paying back? Did you do? Well, you're sitting here. You got a chance. Why didn't she offer her something then?
That was your opening.
I don't understand. She never understands. No. She didn't understand what George was talking about when he marched into the bazaar. No. You don't understand what your husband was telling you. No. You didn't understand. And you don't understand what this woman is giving you an opportunity. Yeah. You really want to kiss my ass? Kiss my ass then. No. Let me into some of this stuff. No.
She don't know how to beg.
She doesn't get it.
You don't even, I think in her mind, she completed the assignment.
I walked into your house and asked you for something.
I did what my husband told me to do. Not. She rang that bell for that footman. She's leaving. Like, wait a minute. What? Mm-hmm. This is the end. Yep. Yes, this is the end.
Bye.
You told your wife to go beg. She failed.
Yep.
You begged for real.
On your hands and knees in front of all these other men.
Very briefly, in 1882, among their Fane was so good. It was just that little.
He wanted to.
No!
The other men's head went boom.
They was like oh, shit. He is down on it. Yes.
And then he started crying. That man is so good. He is an excellent actor.
Plan failed. Do you know I predicted this the first time I saw it? As soon as he got home and got out that carriage. And that's sad because that lets you know
what he was doing.
That this type of person, this is what I thought is, this is a reverse going postal.
Yeah.
That's what this is. Yeah. This is not I got fired, but I'm about to, money.
All my money.
It's just money.
And then you talked about your children
so cowardly.
With this woman.
That was so cowardly.
You knew one of the kids was in the house. Your wife is downstairs. You said, I'll be with you in a minute. We can sit together before dinner.
What did you ask for? What did you ask if the children were there for? If it didn't make any difference, you was going to blow your brains out anyway.
And then that last scene, again, really, really, really overdone.
It was gratuitous.
His hand, they were going back and forth. What the Russell was saying, okay, George is going to let it go. And we're thinking, oh, no, you're doing this too fast. Wait a minute.
Too late. Just wait.
This man puts this stuff, blows it. So we see the blood all over everything. And you got to show us his body on the floor holding a gun in a pool of blood.
And it took us 20, 30 seconds to get to it, too.
You're swirling around the office. That was awful. They did not have to do that. That was totally unnecessary.
All the things that didn't stop him, he went straight up the steps.
Yep.
She caught him.
Yep.
You wasn't even
Nope. He didn't even know who was there or what was happening. He was just going upstairs to kill herself. She just said, I thought I heard you come in.
And then she got to walk in and find you there. You're still an alderman. You still have all this stuff. And I was also thinking.
And there may be a way out. You don't know.
So you got to sell the house and say, I thought, how many possessions do you have?
How many valuable
jewels and things do you have? How many artifacts from Africa and Asia do you have that you could sell? And also your parents, just like the Fanes, her daddy was keeping them afloat. Y'all ain't got no uncle, daddy, granddaddy. He just, well, Russell said no.
Yeah, that was
Are
just
you
awful.
kidding me?
The most cowardly thing. It was
terrible.
awful.
And then you told me, which I did not know at that time, the shame that he brought to them by taking his own life.
Absolutely. That was just like,
So now you done left your wife to deal with the financial and social aspect of it, and then she gonna be shunned.
Right. She's going to be shunned. And she's running around telling everybody somebody murdered her husband, looking crazy.
We gonna come to that next time. But
looking crazy.
Also, and y'all supposed to be Christians.
Right.
You ain't worried about going to hell, sir?
Right. Consecrated ground or whatever.
Oh, my goodness. Episode 3.
Power packed.